There is a book almost nobody finishes, and it was written to set minds free inside a structure built to command them. In 1937, in a classroom in Toronto, Marcus Garvey taught a 22-lesson course he called the Course of African Philosophy. He was not handing out slogans. He was building a school. And the first thing the school demands is a question we still have not answered. Can you train people to think for themselves and at the same time build a machine to make them obey? Garvey does not open the course with race, or God, or Africa. He opens it with a reading program, 4 hours a day. History mastered before anything else. The trained mind, he argues, is the first weapon, before the flag and before the march. Here is how he puts it. Garvey wrote, quote, "Never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden." End quote. Read that as an instruction, not a motto. He is telling a people kept from schools that the route out runs first through the library, not the street. And he does not mean obedient reading. He warns his students against swallowing the official story whole. Garvey wrote, quote, "Never swallow wholly what the white man writes or says without first critically analyzing it." End quote. That is the key. A mind that checks its sources is a mind that cannot be easily ruled. If the course stopped here, it would be one of the great self-education manifestos of the century. It does not stop here. A few pages later, the same teacher who told you to analyze everything tells you to repeat things that may not be true. This is the most uncomfortable instruction in the lesson, and most readers slide right past it. Do not slide past it. Garvey wrote, quote, "Things that may not be true can be made so if you repeat them long and often enough. Therefore, always repeat statements that will give your race status and an advantage. That is how the white man has built up his system of superiority." End quote. Sit with what he is actually saying. Truth here is a tool. The goal is racial advancement, and propaganda is a survival weapon for people who do not own the printing presses or the schools. He is not naive about information. He is describing how power already works and telling his students to pick up the same machine. And this is where a 1937 classroom reaches into right now. In January 2025, the World Economic Forum ranked misinformation and disinformation a top global risk for the second year running. That same month, Meta ended third-party fact-checking in the United States and handed the job to its users. By the spring of 2026, Reuters was reporting AI deepfake ads inside the American midterm campaigns, with platforms choosing to label them rather than take them down. Garvey looked at a world that manufactures agreement by repetition and said, build your own. The question he leaves on the table is the one we are living inside. When the machine is that powerful, is using its strategy, or is it the thing that quietly eats the independent mind he spent lesson 1 trying to build? Then comes the turn that makes the whole course bite. The man who wants you to think for yourself also wants you to obey a leader, and he is explicit about the hierarchy. Garvey wrote, quote, "To lead suggests that you must have followers. For others to follow you, you must be superior to them in the things that they must follow you for." End quote. The masses are not the leader's equal. Superiority is the license to command, and the moment you lose it, you lose the right to lead. Go back to lesson 1 for a moment and hold it next to this. He built a reader who refuses to swallow the official story, and then placed that reader inside a chain of command that runs on superiority. That is the cage. But Garvey will not let it stay a simple cage, because he adds a demand most authoritarians never make. Garvey wrote, quote, "Always speak out right from your head and from your heart. If your heart is not in it, it is a lie. If your head is not in it, it is pure sentiment." End quote. The leader must actually believe, head and heart, or the whole thing is fraud. So the cage has a conscience welded into it. It is command, but it is command that forbids you to fake it. There is another way to build a movement, and it is the one most organizers today actually reach for. Ella Baker, who helped build 3 of the most important organizations of the civil rights era, distrusted the charismatic leader on principle. Strong people, she said, do not need strong leaders. Her model was distributed. Train everyone, develop local people, and let leadership grow from the bottom instead of descending from a superior. You can see her lineage now in places like the Highlander Center's Movement School and in the training academies that newer organizing networks run to turn ordinary members into leaders. Set that beside Garvey, and you have the live argument of this decade. Top-down formation of a superior few, or distributed formation of the many. And here is the fact that keeps it from being a clean win for either side. Of the first 10 people to graduate Garvey's course, 3 went on, each in turn, to hold the highest office in his organization. The method did not only produce devotion, it produced successors. The cage, whatever else it was also a leadership pipeline that worked. So we can answer the question we opened with. Yes, Garvey built a key and a cage out of the same lessons in the same course for the same students. A curriculum to manufacture independent thinkers, taught inside a structure designed to command them. He did not resolve the contradiction. He refused to choose. And that refusal is the part that should keep you up tonight, because it is not safely in the past. Every time someone builds a school for a movement now, a training program, a fellowship, an academy, they are making Garvey's choice whether they admit it or not. How much do you train a mind that can refuse you? And how much do you build a structure that can move on command? Garvey wanted both, at full strength, with no discount on either. Maybe that is the genius of the course. Or maybe it is the flaw he could not see, because he was standing at the front of the room. You are not. So you get to ask the question he would not. If you had to give up one, the free mind or the strong hand, which one goes? And are you sure the people you would lead would answer the same way?